cable news is already so bad that it is bordering on it becoming unwatchable because their pro-corporate, establishment-friendly, centrist to center-right narrative is just, it's obnoxious. We're not getting the stories that would actually inform us and make us more knowledgeable before heading into the voting booth. It's always sensationalist stories. It's a focus on things that aren't very important, like mean tweets and naughty words, and it's just fucking garbage. But for all the gripes that we have about mainstream media, well, guess what? It's about to get a lot worse because they just hired people with absolutely nothing meaningful to say who no one in the country wants to hear more from. And that includes John Kasich, who recently signed with CNN as a senior political commentator, as well as resistance hero Jeff Flake, who supposedly is anti-Trump, but voted with him more than 80% of the time, who is in talks with CBS for a potential position, and last but certainly not least, MSNBC's Morning Joe just hired Claire McCaskill, a loser, as a political analyst. And my only question is, why would you do this? Why? Who wants to hear from these people? They have nothing of value to say at all. And Claire McCaskill is a political analyst. How can she analyze something when she was painfully wrong? She keeps implying that if Democrats want to win, then they can't get too cuckoo and be too crazy. They've got to, stay in the center right. And she went full Trump during her last election. Just in this last election, she literally said this about the migrant caravan. Quote, "Stop them at the border." That's what she said. She went full Trump, actually used xenophobia as a means of propelling herself, and she still lost. But yet she's still talking about how Democrats can win. She's still suggesting that her strategy, even if it's a proven failure, is what Democrats need to do. They don't need to appeal to their base and excite their own base. They need to win over moderate Republicans that don't exist. But, almost all of these senators who are Republican light, Joe Donnelly, Heidi Heitkamp, Claire McCaskill, they were wiped out. The only one who managed to survive was Joe Manchin for some reason. But I wouldn't be surprised if he got wiped out in 6 years. So nobody takes these people seriously. Nobody. And they have nothing of value to bring to the table. But yet, because they were in Congress and mainstream media outlets love to suck up to people in power or people who were in power, we get to hear these morons, quite frankly, pontificate on things that they know nothing about. Things in which, they are going to speak on when they are painfully out of touch with the struggle of average Americans. Now, Claire McCaskill already made her debut on MSNBC, and you can kind of get a hint of how it's going to go based on this clip, because it was stupid and weird and boring.
And former Senator Claire McCaskill, who we are proud to announce has joined NBC News and MSNBC as a political analyst, and we are so excited to have you on board. Wow. You have come to the other side.
I have come to the other side. I think
I want to know.
I've always said in my offices, we can be smart and have a great work ethic and do good work, but if we have fun, we'll do great work. So hopefully that's what this will be about.
Well, that's the whole point of you being here, fun, but also, quite frankly, you've got some really good sharp elbows, and sometimes they're needed with Joe. So thank you. You're going to help me out.
Kyle Kalinske makes this point all the time, and he's so right about this. He says that if you put someone like Wolf Blitzer, and I'm going to add, someone like Claire McCaskill on YouTube, they're not going to even get any time of day by anyone. Nobody cares. They're only going to be successful in media if they are forced upon us. So look, on one hand, we're going to get a lot of coverage from John Kasich and Jeff Flake and Claire McCaskill saying dumb things. So, in a way, it's going to help out this show. But what matters the most is that the American people are informed, and they're not going to help with that cause. Hire a political scientist. Hire actual journalists who are objective. Well, no, they're just going to hire partisan hacks who are going to, I guess, bring more establishment narrative to the table. I don't get it.
Girly Mike Fettuccine needs your support on Patreon. What a loser. Visit patreon.com/Humanist Report to support the low ratings Humanist Report. Sad. My views are much higher.